I wasn't supposed to be here. Not like this. Not standing in the middle of a wedding hall, my camera shaking in my hands, while the man I once loved kissed another woman like she was his forever. My chest cracked with every cheer from the crowd. His smile was the same one that used to belong to me, and yet here I was capturing it all like it was just another job. I told myself to stay professional, but deep inside I was breaking. That wasn't the first time I had felt this way about Marcus. The truth started years earlier, long before this wedding. Back then, I was just doing my job. I was the girl behind the lens, the one who noticed things no one else wanted to see. Brides forcing smiles, grooms kissing like strangers, hands clutching bouquets too tight. I told myself I was just recording memories, but really I was proving my own belief. Love never lasts. Weddings had stopped being celebrations for me a long time ago. They were survival. Smile politely, move unseen, capture the illusion, never feel it myself. Behind the lens, love was just light and shadow. Never safe, never lasting. My parents had proved that with every slammed door, every broken promise. I told myself I was untouchable, but then I felt it, that prickle of being watched. I turned. He stood near the tall window, dark suit cut sharp, chestnut hair catching the glow, storm gray eyes fixed on me like I was the only person in the room. My pulse stuttered. I raised my camera like a shield, but the shot blurred. Damn it. Focus. Hours later, when the hall emptied and I packed my gear, he came to me. I didn't hear him at first. I felt the air shift. You hide behind the camera like it's armor. I froze. His voice was smooth, too warm, too close. Slowly I turned. Up close he was worse. Taller, sharper, eyes that cut through everything. And what if it is? I asked, keeping my tone cool. He smiled, just a curve of his lips. Then you're braver than most. You face everyone's happiest day, even when it isn't yours. My chest tightened. Most men at weddings threw empty lines. His words were heavy, measured, too close to the truth. And what makes you think it isn't mine? Because your eyes don't lie, miss. Delaney, Sophia Delaney. Marcus Hale. His handshake was warm, steady. And no, your eyes don't lie. They're the eyes of someone who doesn't believe in what she photographs. I hated him for saying it. I hated him more for being right. I'm not that easy to read, I told him. Good. His smile deepened, but softer. Then you won't fall, you'll choose, and maybe one day you'll choose me. I should have walked away. Instead, I watched him disappear into the night. And for the first time in years, something dangerous stirred inside me. Hope. I told myself I wouldn't see him again, but I did. A few days later in the city square, crouched with my camera, and suddenly, his shadow fell across my frame. Do you ever put the camera down? I didn't even need to look up. My chest knew it was him. I work, I muttered, lowering the lens. And there he was. Coat tailored, hands in pockets, smiling like my frown amused him. So do I, he said. I teach literature. A teacher, unexpected. What sort? Shakespeare mostly, tragedies, happy endings. His eyes softened. You might like the tragedies. Against myself, I almost smiled. Almost. That was how it began. Coffee after shoots, walks by the river. Him carrying my equipment, reading to me under lamplight, listening, really listening when I spoke. I laughed again, the real kind, the kind that startled me. And against every warning in my head, I let him in. For 3 months, I tasted a happiness I hadn't known existed. We walked along the river at twilight, the city lights flickering on the water like fireflies. One night, under the glow of an old street lamp, he read Pablo Neruda to me. His voice was low, rough, each word a confession I couldn't ignore. Sometimes he kissed me until my world blurred, my back pressed against brick walls or my fingers tangled in his hair. Other times, we just sat in silence, my head resting on his shoulder, as if silence itself had become sacred between us. I took pictures of him when he wasn't looking, his hand wrapped around a coffee mug, the curve of his smile when his eyes found mine, the shadows across his profile when he leaned in to kiss me. I kept them all hidden in a private folder on my computer. I was too afraid to print them, too afraid to admit how much they mattered, because happiness was dangerous, and danger always came calling. It came one night, in the form of my mother's voice. "Sophia, I need money," she snapped through the phone, her words jagged with desperation. "You don't understand, they'll evict me. You have to send it. You're all I have." My throat tightened. It was always the same. Years of manipulation, of playing the parent, the provider, the savior. Her needs had been chains around my neck since childhood. My hands shook as I gripped the phone. "I can't, Mother. Not this time, I can't keep." "Don't you dare abandon me. Don't you dare walk away like he did. You're selfish, Sophia, always have been." The line went dead. My chest caved in. I sank to the floor of my studio. I wanted to scream, to claw at my skin until the guilt stopped burning. Instead, I dialed Marcus. He answered on the first ring. "Sophia." My voice broke. I just need you here." Minutes later, he was at my door. Coat still on, face shadowed with concern. He pulled me into his arms, steady and unyielding. "What happened?" I shook my head, burying my face against him. "It's nothing, just my mother." He didn't press, he just held me. His heartbeat against my cheek, solid and certain. But when I pulled back, his eyes caught mine, and the truth flickered there. Too much care. Too much love. And love was the one thing I couldn't bear. That was the beginning of the end. I grew distant, quieter, my smiles forced. Marcus noticed, of course, but he waited, patient as ever, until one night I broke. "You don't understand, Marcus," I said, trembling as I turned away from him. "You think love saves people, but it doesn't. It chains them. It ruins them. It destroyed my parents. It's destroying me, and I can't let it touch you." His jaw tightened. For once, he didn't hide the hurt. "Love isn't ruin, Sophia," he said. "It's the only thing that saves us. What your parents had wasn't love, it was fear, it was need. Don't confuse the two." My throat burned. "I can't risk it, I can't risk you." "Then risk nothing," he whispered, his voice breaking, "and live half a life." Silence crushed us, and then I did what I always did best. I ran. And for the first time, Marcus let me. 2 years later, I had become a legend in Seattle. The wedding photographer who didn't just capture the pretty, she captured the truth. Brides begged for me. Grooms praised me. My inbox overflowed with inquiries. But behind the success was emptiness. For those 2 years, I refused to let myself think about Marcus Hale. Not his smile, not his voice, not the way he kissed me like I was the only woman who ever mattered. I worked instead. 127 weddings in 2 years. Faces blurred together. Joy and heartbreak all looked the same through a lens when you refused to feel any of it. Until the Hartwell Morrison wedding. The venue was a restored warehouse, brick walls, vaulted ceilings, the kind of place brides called industrial chic. I was setting up my lights when I saw him. My breath froze. Marcus. He stood at the altar in a tailored tux, dark hair neat, whiskey eyes warm as he smiled at the bride. The bride. A stunning blonde Elvira Wang, touching his arm like she belonged there. My knees almost gave out. I wanted to run, but my reputation, my pride, kept me rooted. So I lifted my camera and did what I always did. I documented the beautiful lies of love. The ceremony was exquisite torture. Through my lens, I watched him speak vows to another woman. When he kissed her, my camera trembled. I forced myself to keep shooting. I lasted until the reception, until I saw him spinning her under chandeliers, his laugh echoing. That's when I fled. I collapsed in the restroom, vomiting until nothing was left but grief. I packed my gear early, told myself no one would notice, but when I turned toward the door, he was there. Except he wasn't Marcus. He smiled politely, loosening his tie. "You're leaving." I have another job." "You've done incredible work tonight. Jennifer hasn't stopped saying how perfectly you captured the emotions." Jennifer, his wife. I forced a smile. "Thank you, that means a lot." He stepped closer, too close. "You caught it all. The tears, the laughter, the little in-betweens, that's a gift." Something was off. His smile, his words, he looked like Marcus, but not quite. Then the bride appeared, radiant, sliding her arm through his. "Michael, come, Mom wants photos with the grandparents." Michael. Not Marcus, his twin. I barely made it to my car before collapsing. My hands shook so badly, I almost dropped my camera bag. Then my phone buzzed. "Is this Sophia Delaney?" The voice came out rough, all too familiar. "Yes, who is this?" I replied as calmly as I could, ignoring the blood rushing in my ears. "This is Marcus Hale, Michael's brother. We need to talk." My heart stopped. "How did you get my number?" I finally asked after what felt like minutes of listening to each other's breathing. "Michael gave it to me. Can you meet me? Tonight." "Why?" I asked again. "Because I've been looking for you for 2 years, and I just found out you were 20 feet away from me today. I can't miss you again," he answered after a pause, like he was trying to wish away a bad memory. My vision blurred. "Where?" I managed to mutter. "At the coffee shop in Fremont. The one with the awful music and perfect cinnamon rolls," Marcus answered. I remembered everything about that place, everything about him. 30 minutes. My eyes misted as I responded. The coffee shop was nearly empty. Dim light, indie music buzzing low. Marcus sat at our old table, sweater frayed at the cuffs, hands wrapped around a mug. When he saw me, he stood. Relief and fear flickered across his face. "Sophia." "Marcus." We sat, the air between us thick with everything unsaid. "You look good," he said finally, voice rough. "So do you." Silence, heavy, unbearable. "I saw your work tonight," he said at last. "At Michael's wedding, you're even better than you were." "Thank you. I wanted to talk to you during the reception, but you thought he was me." Heat rushed to my face. "I'm an idiot." "No," he said firmly. "We're identical. Most people don't see the difference." "But I should have known," I whispered, my throat tight. "I should have known you." His eyes burned into mine. "Sophia, I need you to understand why I disappeared. That night, after your call, I thought you were letting me down easy. I thought you realized I wasn't worth the risk." My chest cracked open. "Marcus." I changed my number, moved apartments, convinced myself I was doing us both a favor, but it was cowardice. Tears blurred my vision. "I looked for you. After Portland, I went to your building. Your neighbor said you'd left," I thought. "I know. She told me a woman with a camera came looking for me. I knew it was you, and I still stayed away." I shook my head, choking. "Do you know what it did to me, thinking you gave up on us?" "I never gave up." His voice broke. "I never stopped loving you. Even when I tried, I couldn't. You're in my skin, Sophia. You always were." My chest ached. Then why now? Why after 2 years? He reached for my trembling hands, covering them with his own. "Because I can't let us waste another minute." The coffee shop faded away. The years, the pain, the noise, gone. Just him, just me. "Sophia Delaney," Marcus whispered, eyes locked on mine. "Will you come home with me tonight?" For the first time in 2 years, I said yes. As we said our vows, me in a wedding dress on the other side of the lens, it occurred to me that sometimes the greatest pictures aren't we take of others, but the ones we permit ourselves to feature in. Years have passed since that day. Marcus and I now have 2 beautiful children, each carrying pieces of us. The storm in his eyes, the quiet strength I never thought I had. Sometimes I still hold my breath, waiting for history to repeat itself, waiting for the chaos I grew up with. But it never comes. Our home doesn't sound like my parents' house did. There are no sharp arguments, no endless silences heavy with anger. Instead, there's laughter in the kitchen, little feet racing down the hallway, and a love that grows deeper, not smaller with time. My marriage looks nothing like my parents'. It looks like the life I never believed I deserved. And I love it here. I really do.